In August 2015, a coalition of 5 churches in Bedford began putting together the plans for a passion play, the first of its kind in over 30 years in the town's history. A passion play is a reenactment of the trial, death, and ascendancy of Jesus Christ. It is a common religious event all across the world celebrated by Christians. Naturally, such an event wasn't going to happen overnight. It will require hard work and dedication from everyone that would volunteer their time. This documentary will follow the cast and crew as they go through the long process of going from the people of Bedford to participants in the Easter story. But before that, I think it is important that we go back to see what the last passion play was like. And as luck would have it, my own grandparents know a thing or two about it.
How long ago was it? Do you say it was
30 years ago, and I was a member of the crowd, but it was really great. It was more into, what do you call it? People took more part in it, and we were all dressed up, and I remember I had a big jar off my shoulder, and we were wailing and crying, and it was great. Very emotional.
How many in terms of cast was there? Was there about 40?
Cast?
As in like main characters and then crowd as well? How many people were there?
Oh, I think probably about 50. It's the first time the Bedford had done it, you see.
So the passion play was a big event, drawing a huge crowd as it passed through the town centre. Naturally, to put on a similar show today would take a great cast and a better director. The one chosen to lead the cast and crew forward was Callie Lawrence. An esteemed local actor and director, Callie has plenty of experience of stage work. We went along to the first audition, held before Christmas 2015, to see how she was settling in.
My name's Callie Lawrence and I've been asked to direct this project. So tonight we're holding our sort of first lot of auditions. So we've sent some pages out to people and we're hoping people will come along. So basically so we can meet them, they can meet us, they can meet me, and then I'll just get them to sort of read through some scenes, play around with them a little bit just so I can see what people sound like, what they look like, because the whole thing is I'm going to have to match people up, you know, to get the casting balanced. So this is the first one tonight.
Rather disappointingly, the first auditions had limited numbers, but Callie seemed unfazed by the lack of initial volunteers and retained high hopes for the future. Such optimism proved well-founded, as the next time we met, at one of the first costume workshops, the cast had swelled to a considerable degree. But with 9 weeks left to go, there was still plenty of ground to cover.
So Callie, we're into week, what is it now?
I don't know, we've got 9 weeks today, I know that. I'm doing a kind of countdown rather than a count up.
And how do you think things are progressing so far?
To be honest, a couple of weeks ago I was worried that we weren't going to have enough people, that we didn't have enough support. And now that's completely turned around, which is brilliant. So we had a call to arms last week. Loads, I think we had about 60 people turn up. A lot of them I've never seen before, which is absolutely brilliant. And as you can see today, we've got the sewing workshop, so I'm now very happy, very optimistic, and I think it's going to be amazing.
The call to arms did indeed work, and the cast had grown as many people from all over Bedford came to lend a hand. Heading to one of the rehearsals soon after the costume workshop, we spoke to some of the new cast to see what they thought.
I think it's been an eye-opener today because there's been so many more people who are part of the crowd scene. So for the first time you really got a sense of what the emotions could be like and how the build-up will affect us as we go through the 2-hour production.
Yeah, because we were there right from the start. We were there in October, and sometimes, you know, there wasn't many people there, and I must admit, I think
It's got better now.
it has got much better since you know, Christmas.
Over the next few weeks, progress is strong for the cast, as they quickly became used to their new positions in the play. However, while the crowd had a decent number, the play still lacked main characters, including, rather worryingly, no one playing Jesus. However, with 3 weeks before the big day, Callie struck casting gold.
I'm James McNaughton and I'm playing Jesus.
James McNaughton is a stage performer from London, a graduate from Birmingham School of Acting, and with many performances under his belt, he was just what the play was looking for to fill in their leading role. I made sure to catch up with him after rehearsals, to see how he was settling in.
So, how did you get the role, I guess? Like, did you see an ad before, or did Callie?
I got through my agent, actually. Yeah, so there's a casting directory website called Spotlight, and yeah, my agent just gave me a ring and said you'd be interested in auditioning. I said,
Was there anything that particularly drew you to the part? I mean, was it the idea of Jesus?
yeah, absolutely. Like, how many opportunities do you get like that? Not many.
Now that everything was coming together, be it actors or props, the the rehearsals were picking up a momentum of their own. With only 3 weeks to go before the play, I asked some of the cast what they were feeling this close to the event.
Finding it, as we're going on, more and more emotional now. As we're getting to the last 3 or 4 rehearsals, just finding that it's all coming together.
It is really hard. It's really hard because there's a point where, and although you know it's a play, there's a point where acting finishes and your emotions take over.
2 weeks before the day, the crucifix was completed, and the most harrowing scene of the event could be practiced at full props. The effect of having it in rehearsals really added some extra power to the scene. As it was such a linchpin of the play, I went and asked James what it was like to be crucified.
I mean, I was there. Your reaction to getting the nail in the arm effectively was it was quite something actually.
Well, that's the thing. I could like scream my lungs out, and but I suppose it's just better to kind of not mark it at this point, but not peak too soon, as Callie said.
I also made sure to speak to Callie. With such a short time before the event, I wanted to see how she felt things were going and how the journey had been so far.
So, Callie, 2 weeks to go.
2 weeks? Well,
Less than 2 weeks.
less than 2 weeks, yes.
9 days, I guess.
Yeah.
Any last minute thoughts? I guess we're doing the dress rehearsal tomorrow, so.
Yeah, dress rehearsal this weekend. I am very excited. I'm very confident that it's all going to go to plan, it's all going to be amazing, but it feels still a bit chaotic, so I'm really looking forward to getting Saturday done when we're outside, and we'll have all 3 crosses for the crucifixion and so on, and so then I'll get a sense of any bits that need doing.
With all the props and costume in place, and all the actors off script and in the zone, Callie quickly pushed forward for a full dress rehearsal to iron out any last minute details and really test the crowd in an outdoor environment. As a first test, the dress rehearsal was a major success. Everyone came away with ideas of what to do better, as well as full of energy to take on the real event. As ever, I checked in with James and Callie afterward to see how they felt things had gone.
Everyone's kind of off book now.
Everything's organised.
Yeah, everything's. We're a week away now, so we've still got a few rehearsals, which is good. So hopefully we'll be ready for the day. There's a lot of things that will kind of be there and then, on the day, that we're not going to be able to use certain things until the day. So it's going to be on it, kind of spur of the moment, which is fine, but it's exciting. I'm excited.
I think they went better than I hoped, but it didn't rain. I think it's given people a real flavour for what it might be like next week. But I think it's also highlighted the work that still needs to be done for this week. So it's kind of like we've got a week. This time next week it'll all be over. So we've got a week to kind of put everything else in place now.
A few rehearsals later, and the day of the Passion Play had arrived. There was a mixture of nerves and excitement as the cast got ready. However, as a large crowd began to gather where the play was to begin, no one could doubt that this was going to be a big event. The play began at 10:30 that morning, and a crowd of over 1,000 strong followed the cast as they travelled through Bedford town. In the end, the play lasted 2 hours and was seen as a huge success, with no great hiccups or technical breakdowns. Even the weather held perfectly. Once the play finished, I made sure to pull some of the cast aside for one last interview.
It feels very good, very relieved, but it was amazing, absolutely amazing, and the weather held.
I'm still processing it, I guess, but just incredible crowd, just immensely proud of
Okay, go on.
and apparently emotional.
I feel good. I feel great. I feel really good. Everything went really well. Nothing to complain about. Happy with it all. Yeah, it's really lovely to be a part of. We've got a massive turnout, so lots of people there. Speechless really. It was just such a great experience.
I feel great, tired but elated, and I think it went as well as it could have done really.
Well, just before we close off for the final time,
Yeah.
is there anything you wanted, any final thoughts you have?
No, just thank you to everyone, and this is what I think was truly a community event, and that's what I wanted it to be, so thank you.
And so the Passion Play had run its course. Months of planning and preparation led to a 2-hour performance that in some ways was really all in the hands of fate. But having followed the group from the start, watching them grow stronger and more confident each week, and seeing the final performance, I can only echo Callie's words that this was a truly astounding community project. We can only hope that it will lead to bigger and better things in Bedford's future.